builders, parents, and collectors. This episode of the Creation Evaluation Station, we will be evaluating this. It's a big boy. Let's back it up. Turn it. Someone's out of the light. It's Horizon Forbidden West TallNeck. It's part of the Icons line. And before I get into it any further, just to let new people know, I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego. There's the Lego sign. It's usually in the corner on the top. Anyway, and I also do reviews of other creative works such as movies, video games, and animation. So, because they're in-depth reviews, they tend to be on the long side. We look at all the parts inside, but there are timestamps down below that you can jump past that and just watch the review if you want. Or if you want to see the figures, there's only, I think, one figure that comes with this. But yeah, you can jump around, or you can use them as bookmarks and come back to it at a later date. So, let's get down to the details. Actually, before I get down to the details, I have a bit of a story to tell. This is an anniversary gift. A wedding anniversary gift. Nothing for the channel or anything. My step-parents gave us for our anniversary a $100 Amazon gift card, and we're like, well, what do we want to do? What do we do with that? And I'm like, well, you remember that Horizon set? I think it's cool. My wife's a big fan of Horizon, and I've seen the game. Game looks awesome. Haven't played it myself. I just haven't had time. She's played through the first one. She's got through most of the second one. I don't know if she's finished it yet or not. But yeah, we're both big fans. So I'm like, well, hey, why don't we take that and go buy on Amazon this? And I'll put it together, review it, and then she can do what she wants. If she wants to tear it apart and rebuild it, or just put it on display somewhere, that's up to her. So yeah, that's kind of cool, right? So yes, back down to the details here. Let's take another close look at that. You can see it's black. It's got the gray on the bottom. It's definitely part of the Icons line. You'll see here somewhere. Oh yeah, it's on the bottom. It says 18 plus, which we'll get to that in the details, but that's usually Icons price. And here's the back. Another beautiful picture. Slightly different angle of it. We also get nice little details here about the size. Kind of reminds me of the Jurassic World sets that all had the signs. And we got some more of pictures of the smaller stuff here, and a nice image of the game here with this TallNeck in it. Just such a beautiful game. Yeah. Sides, got pictures of the TallNeck there. Nothing really on that side. The top, we get the Aloy figure here. Some more pictures of the diorama for it. The bottom, boring stuff. But yeah. So, details. It is set number 76889. It's for ages 18 plus, like I said before. Has 1,222 pieces, quite a few pieces, and it retails for $89.99. So that looks like a pretty good price. We'll get to that later. And it came out May of this year, 2022. So fairly new release, probably one of the last few releases I'll be doing from this year. At least bigger ones. I think I've got some small ones. I may get some more small ones before the years are out. I don't have any plans for anything big though. But yeah, I am excited to put this together. It looks awesome. It just looks awesome. That movie or the game looks awesome. The graphics looks awesome. Having sets, this took everybody by surprise. I don't think anybody was expecting this. Yeah, I mean, it was called TallNeck, and I have a feeling people thought it might be a Jurassic Park set or something. I don't know. Would it come up at the right time, I think. But yeah, no one was expecting this. I don't know if we'll get more sets of this. I've seen a mock of one of the really big bad robots. This one's pretty benign, but one of the big bad robots, I can't remember what they're called. It looked amazing, and it'd be nice if Lego did something like that. Speaking of this is Horizon Forbidden West. That is the second game. This guy was in the first game as well. I don't know if it looks any different in the second game. Haven't looked at it super close. I'd have to ask my wife. I don't think it's probably any different than the first one. They just put the Forbidden West on there because it is the newest version of the game. But yeah, I'm excited to put this together. We'll open it up, check out what it looks like, see if it's really an 18 plus build, because I have a feeling it's not. It may not be, you know, for 7-8-year-olds, but 10 on up, teenagers, stuff like that, probably be fine. They just like to slap 18 plus on any of these black boxed icon sets. Their 18 plus line or adult line, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we'll find out putting it together. So, well, let's go do that. Here we have the contents of the box, and to start off with, we have the instruction booklet. Now, it wasn't wrapped in plastic or any reinforcement, which is a little disappointing. But as you can see in here, just a brief couple pages in the front, it's a pretty nice book, pretty thick. It's got information about the game, the TallNeck, the designers, stuff like that. Some beautiful images as well. And moving on here, we have, well, we've got some parts that are in bags. We got a green plate and this wire thing. Not really a wire since it's made all out of rubber, but it's basically a wire. And we have a sticker sheet that's got a good amount of stickers on here, but I don't think it'll look too bad without them. We'll find out. Moving on here, we have bag 1. Whoa! Can't count today apparently. Bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, bag 5, and bag 6. But wait, there's more. We also have bag 7 and bag 8 for a total of 8 bags. So let's open these up, see what's inside each one. I have the contents of bag 1 here. Of course, there's a brick separator in the first bag. We also have the loose parts that were in the bag. In the box. We've already seen them, but they're here too. We have a lot. This was a really heavy bag. There was a lot of bricks, duplicate bricks. There's these studs on side bricks. There's these other studs on side bricks. There's these yellow bricks. A lot of sloped pieces, different degrees, literally. Yeah, this was a pretty hefty bag. And more studs on side pieces there. Those weird column ones. We had a bunch of plates as well. Multiples of the same color and size, including these red ones over here, black ones here. Aloy is in here. We got some transparent studs. Other assorted pieces, more transparent studs. We have this thing, which I've never seen this before. Maybe it's been in other places. On first glance, it looks like a 1x3, but you flip it over. Look at that. There's no anti-studs. It's smooth down there, and there's a hole in it. It's a very strange looking piece. First time I've seen it. But yeah, a lot here. This was a big hefty bag. Let's move on to the next one. Here is the contents of bag 2, and we have a lot of green pieces and a lot of other earthy colors as well. And it's probably for the ground. on the diorama. Not a lot of pieces though. This is a much smaller bag than the last one. Here we have bag number 3, and it's another small bag with a lot of foliage in it. Seems like they may have divided this up in certain steps, and maybe could have made the steps a little bit bigger. But anyways, got a lot of leaf pieces. Now I haven't seen these leaf pieces in yellow before, but that's cool. And then we have these bigger leaf pieces in orange. You see, it's got the bright yellow, then you got the orange. We have a lot of flower stems here, which we have flower pieces over here, including in this color, but most of them are red. Got a couple other odds and ends, including pins and stuff. And these dino tail pieces, as I call them. We call them tentacles, I suppose. Depends on what you look at. They were originally in with the... first came out with the dinosaur line. Which probably nobody really remembers. Yeah, that's where they were first made, I believe. That's it. There's really not a lot here. Here we have bag 4, and we kind of finally have a proper bag. Not quite as many pieces as the first, but still a good amount and quite a variety of pieces. We're starting to see whites, blacks, and grays, so I think we're moving into the robot. Nothing too much. We got these newer pieces. Got 4 of them here. For hinges and stuff. I've seen them before, but they are on the newer side. I'm quite sure what the advantage of them are. We have this is a new piece I haven't seen. Stud on side piece, because it's only got one stud. I'm not sure why they had to make this. I mean, this is easy to do with a tile with one stud on top and 1x2 studs on side piece. But we'll find out why they've used that. Got some odd colored pieces here, including these the hollow 1x1x2s. I don't know what to call them, but they're newer pieces as well. So yeah, quite a bit here. Here we have the contents of bag 5, and once again we have a lot more black, gray, silver, white, whatever mechanical colors, although there are some of these off-white pieces. Green. There's also these gold machetes over here, which is strange. There's 5. Ooh, I hope there's an extra one. But besides all that, yeah, we got a lot of little pieces in here. Some larger plates, but that's about it. There's still a good amount of parts here. Here we have the contents of bag 6. Got some joints. Probably building at least some of the legs here. A lot of small parts. It's not really a ton of parts here. I mean, there's some. Most of them are on the smaller side. I have a lot of these, you can see. Some cheese slopes there. Nothing transparent or anything. Oh, wait, yes, there was one thing I know. We have more of these weird pieces with the flat bottoms and the hole. Only this time in white. We got 4 of them. I did see how that was implemented. It was used to build the little side build. I don't know how these will be. But that's it. Here we have bag number 7. And I think this is a few more pieces than the last one, but not much more. We got some hinges again. Now, this doesn't look like the same bag we had before, but there was a smaller bag inside that had a lot of the similar pieces, like a lot of these again, that were similar to the last bag. And I'm guessing those are probably parts for the necks. Or the neck, pardon me. Only one neck. Because there probably are a lot of repetitive parts to that build. But we're getting almost done. We got one more to go. Here we are at the last and final bag. Got a bunch of curved pieces. We got snowboards. And we got skis. Some different interesting pieces in here for sure. Though, a lot of the same stuff. Bunch of 1x4 plates. We got 1x6s too, in quite a number. Got some hinges here. Some kind of out of place orange colors, although they're not that much out of place, I think. We finally have some transparent colors here. These dots. A lot of 1x2s. Like I said, a lot of plates. Bunch of these studs and side pieces. Oh, we got more of these new pieces in black this time. Excuse me. So yeah, that's about it. Let's go finish this up. Here we have the leftover parts, and of course we have our extra part separator. We got a lot of little bits in here, typical stuff, but there is some interesting stuff. I mean, we got an extra little flower piece here. We've got extra red feathers, which I think that's a pretty uncommon color for those to be in. I could be wrong. Some transparent studs and stuff. Although, yeah, I think these two actually technically shouldn't be here because the little droid, the little robot, is supposed to, you're supposed to be able to change the lights on his eye. So those we should have left out. But other than that, we do still have some interesting stuff here. Got some of these little bits here that can be used for different things. Plenty of cheese slopes, dots, and oh, we do have some flowers, including that blue-green flower. Is there one of the red ones here? Yes, there's a red one and two. So not quite enough to fill up your flower there, but there's some here. Here we have our one and only figure for this set. It is Aloy, the main character of the game. She looks really good. She's got a special hair piece, and she's got really special weapons. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen a white bow, and she's got a special built weapon here for her staff. She looks pretty cool, I think. Looks like something that she would play in the game. Now, I haven't played the games myself, but I watched my wife play the game. I have wanted to play it myself. I just haven't gotten around to it. We'll take... well, let's just remove that bow first. I'm going to take everything off here in a moment, but wanted you to take a better look at that hair piece. She's got her little earpiece there that helps her. Very important game part of the game. It's a brand new hair mold, I'm pretty sure. If it is, if it isn't, it's been altered to have that earpiece in there. It's pretty cool. The earpiece is not solid, it's just a round circle. It's actually got nothing in between it. One would assume her ear would be there, but you know, Lego figures don't exactly have ears. So let's take everything away and take a closer look at the prints on her torso, legs, etc. We've got her stripped down here. Got to see her beads and her very deerskin looking, you know, hides type of clothing and stuff. You can see alongside here that she's got the rest of it. Her earpiece is printed on there. Face print looks pretty good. Nice. They got her the eyebrows nice, the same color as her hair. She's even got arm printing, which is nice. Nothing on the side of the legs, but just got arms and even toes. Looking at the back, she does have two faces. Now, there isn't a big difference between the two faces, but she does have it. One looks more like she might be talking or something. She's got her mouth partially open. The back looks just nice. Very, very nice detail. You know, no metallics, or not much, because it would make sense. Wouldn't it make sense? But yeah, there she is. Pretty nice. Let's get looking at the overall set. There we have the completed model, and it looks gorgeous. Had to back all the way out and hold my camera because it's so tall. Had to get everything in so you can see it all together. Going to be moving in here some more so we can take a closer look. So things are going to start disappearing here. Before we get a look all around the bigger model here, we've already taken a look at the Aloy figure, but there's this little guy right here to look at as well. Look at him first. He's one of the little searchers, hunters, very much a guard, and you can replace this piece right here, the transparent stud there, with these other two studs. There's a yellow one and a red one, and if you're not familiar with the game, that's because he when he becomes alert, it turns yellow, which is also a caution because he's out to get you, thinks there's something there, and then it turns red when it becomes hostile and has seen you. So that is really cool thing that they've done. I accidentally had all those pieces in with the leftovers and kind of forgot about it when I was rounding things up. Now, he doesn't have a lot of posability. He can move his tail around a little bit. His head moves a little bit in and out. He can gets an up and down head action, and the toes move and the hips move a little bit, but there's you know, not really too much you can do with that. It's essentially a mini build. It would be nice to have a larger build, although this is mini scale or minifigure scale, so it would be a larger scale thing. Because that's maybe a little bit smaller than minifigure scale, but wouldn't be much bigger. But it's nice to have an extra little build for give it more character, and I like what they did with the lights. And he's gonna stay right there. And while I have it focused down, you can see that diorama. It looks really good. We've got, this is kind of where she's supposed to be placed. There's a single like tile with one stud that she's standing on there because she's hiding behind the weeds, which is another thing that she does in the game, is stalking her prey and hiding in the larger plants. Stalking and also hiding from these guys over here. Yes, that is a broken telephone pole, or not telephone pole, light post, because this is taking place after our current world has been destroyed, essentially, and civilization has reset. I'm not going to say any more about the game, because you should go play it if you haven't already. Now, getting to this main build here. Oh, and I do like this tree over here, just saying that. Sorry. My sinuses are draining. It's definitely fall. What can I say? I guess we'll kind of start with the legs anyways. Now, he is pinned down onto this diorama, but he can be removed, and he does stand well just fine on his own. But there's really not a lot of posability here. So whether you have him on or off, I mean, having him off, you can pose him, but there really isn't much you can do with these long legs, and he just doesn't have it as much posability to him to do anything with. There's one joint up here in the neck that can only be moved into 2 positions. So yeah, there's very little posability there. Now the legs, both front and back, have full 360 rotation this way, and they also can bend out. But there's no joints throughout any of the rest of this except at the ankles, which if you move this little piece up here, you can see the ball joint. Let's move in. See the ball joint down there. So there is another hinge there. So there is some movability, but when you consider how large this is, and there's not a lot of positions you can really do with it, especially with this large head. I mean, it's not too heavy, but you know, it kind of throws the center of gravity off of the whole thing. Let's spin her around here. We've got some neat, you know, parts here. Usage of parts for some of these antenna, like his head antenna and his butt antenna, whatever they're supposed to be, sensor arrays. This is definitely very giraffe-like, and what's really interesting, if you're not familiar with giraffes, even though they don't have big round heads like this, giraffes can, depending on the species, have up to 4 horns on their head. And this guy has 1, 2, 3, 4 little prongs, extenders, sensors that look like horns. So, yeah, somewhat accurate to a real giraffe. My wife and I have been discussing the proportions of this. I mean, it looks really good, but for some reason it does not. It needs to be. It feels like the neck needs to be a little bit longer. There's supposed to be another segment in there, or something. It still looks good, especially if you're not familiar with the games. But if you're familiar with the games, something needs to be bigger on it, and can't tell you what. I probably have to look at the actual model in game. It doesn't say this doesn't look amazing, because as you probably can tell, it does. Yeah, there's the back of it on this side. Yeah, there's no joints in these legs. I mean, there's joints, but not posable joints. Only joints are in the hips, and yeah, looks quite good. And it does look accurate to the game. It's a rather beautiful looking thing. When you first meet this giant, because it's essentially a gentle giant, just walks around and keeps track of the land with all its sensors and everything else. It's really massive, but it just walks through these giant valleys and it looks really incredible, especially with the scenery of the game itself. It's really cool. I hope we get more sets from this game. Be really cool, but I'm definitely happy with the one we got. So let's head to the desk and give this a final eval. Okay, we're back here at the desk and give this a final eval and my final thoughts. As you can see, it's a big boy. I can't quite get it all in the camera. But before I get started, I just wanted to say that this is an icon set, and it says it's for ages 18 plus. Now, parents, if you got kids younger than that, this would be fine. It's probably, I would say, 10 and up. There's a lot of small parts, but it's not an overly complicated build. So, 10 plus, but you gotta know your kids. Younger ones than that could probably even handle it. But 18 plus is a little ridiculous. It's just that it's part of their adult line, their icons line. there's nothing here that really is requires a lot. I mean, there is one thing that it is more of a display piece, so you got to consider that they're not going to be able to play with this that much. But yeah, a 10 plus, I think, is a perfect age bracket for this. Like you said, could be even lower depending on your kids. Overall, I like this set. It was fun to build, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like it. It was fun to build, and it looks beautiful. So, getting down to the nitty-gritty and doing the final evaluation. Appearance, as I said, it looked good. And yeah, I think it really looks good. Like I said, talked to my wife and stuff, we think that we should fire up the game and check for sure, but it looks a little off proportion-wise. Just a little off. But really, it looks good. I mean, probably the mini build looks worse for the little guy down here. But even so, that's not bad considering it's a mini build. The character looks good. The diorama looks nice with the plants and the ground and everything else. It looks really good. It would be nice if this one actually came with a sign like some of the icon stuff, a plaque. This would look good with a plaque considering it's already on like this fancy base. But yeah, it looks really good, and I gave appearance easily a 10. Moving on to function. Now here's, like, this is a display piece. So really it's not supposed to do much. And it is very little posability with this, although this thing, by the way, does stand. Even if it's not on the base, you can remove it from the base and it stands. But there's not much functionality to be had here. But then it doesn't really need to do much. Like I said, it's more display than anything. I mean, you can move the head. There's a hinge here, but this is it. There's only 2 positions it can be in. The legs move, but there's only so much you can move around, and you'll lose the center of gravity. Plus, there isn't any knee joints. There's just the hips and the ankles way down at the bottom, which can give you some poses, but only so much. You can pose all these little antennae and stuff like that, but as far as function goes, it's not like it's bad, but there's just like not much here that it does, so it doesn't do much. It just looks good. And I ended up giving function an 8. There's just not much to it in the way of function. Now, as far as fun goes, this was really fun to put together, and I'll talk more about that in the techniques, but it was really fun to put together. Once you have it together, though, like I said, it's a display piece. This doesn't say you can't have some fun playing with this. This big TallNeck critter here is really a B9 character. It's not good, it's not bad, it just kind of stomps around. If you get under its foot, you might get crushed, but it doesn't really do anything except walk around. But you do have one minifigure and one little build here for the Raptor Lake Searcher guys. And therefore you can have some fun playing with that. But this really isn't meant for play. It's more of a display piece, like I've said. So I ended up giving it a 9 for fun. It is really fun to build, though. I need to make sure that's well established. Now, as far as technique goes, I wouldn't say there's a lot of neat techniques. It's hard to describe because I've been building more a lot more dragons and larger things since I've been doing videos and stuff, and I've gotten kind of used to this sub-assembly design that they used for this. There are clever uses of parts. So, like, part of me is like, okay, yeah, I've seen this done before, but it's still clever. In fact, there are a lot of sub-assemblies here. And by the way, I don't mean sub-assemblies like, oh, you build the neck, or oh, you build the leg and you attach it to the body. Like a lot of robots and other organic creatures type things tend to be like dragons or whatever. You build the arm and you attach it to the body. Now, that's not what I mean. I mean literally, the body was like 3 or 4 sub-assemblies that you put together. I'm not counting the little antennas, but like to get the shape just right, you build this part and then you attach it together, which also lets you reorient the which way the studs are facing and stuff like that. A lot of that is going on here. There's use of hinges and some technic stuff to do that. Like I said, commonly you build the legs separate or the arms separate if it's a robot or whatever. But there are sub-assemblies involved with like building the upper arms here because they're big enough. There's not too much of a sub-assembly. Even the head here, which looks like one piece, there are sub-assemblies to this to build it, including the base. This base was actually interesting to build, and it's not a solid build. It's built with holes and stuff in it to make it lighter and use less pieces. So it gets the same effect, but uses less pieces, which saves you money. And also, saves on weight. Which also kind of saves money too. But, it makes us not super heavy in the base. Which you still want some bulk in the base, so it's bottom heavy and good to support this. But really, so it's getting point. It's hard to judge because they're doing this a lot, but there really is some really clever uses of parts, and the use of sub-assemblies of itself is actually very creative and very interesting. How they did it here with the base, and the head was unique. I hadn't seen it done before. The body here, yeah, like you said, is made out of multiple parts just to build the main center body, not talking about the legs or the neck. Yeah, I ended up getting Technique a 10. I gotta remind myself sometimes, you get starting to see the same thing or similar type of building style, and that's just it. That's a similar type of building style. This sub-assembly type building style, I think, leads to new, interesting ways to build, and therefore, it's definitely a good thing. But yeah, that brings our overall score. You add it all up. What does he get here? Oh, I didn't do the math on my book here, so I gotta think of it out here. 29, 37. So you take 37, divide it by 4, and you get a 9.25, which we then round up, and that gives our total average a 9.5 for our score. Now, moving on over to price. For an icon set, yes, icon sets are always big and expensive, which this is actually one of the cheaper ones at $89, which, yeah, it's $89.99, almost $90. You take that and you divide it by the 1,222 pieces, they get 7 cents per piece, which, that's really good. So yeah, you're getting a good amount of pieces for this. Now, I would say it's a little deceptive because after putting together, there's a lot of little pieces in this. But it's still a deal. Getting that part ratio, and on top of that, I don't think those count all the leftovers. There were tons of leftover small pieces as well, but there still quite a few leftover parts. So I ended up giving it a G. Like 7 cents. It's really good. This is a good set. It's like that price is really good, and you could almost push it to an E. But I feel like the set itself, it's got its good points and its bad points. Part of it's just simply because it's part of the Icons line. Icons line, you know, I make this scoring system more for just regular Lego sets that kids would play with. Icons things are kind of a different league of their own, so they actually kind of grade a little bit poorer than your regular Lego set, simply because, like I said, this is a display piece, so it's not meant to be played with. So therefore, you're going to lose points for fun. It's just what happens. And even function, because it doesn't really do that much. It's more a display piece. Doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that my judgment system is kind of weighted against them a little bit. Not intentionally. It's just the way I set it up when I wanted to do Legos, and I hadn't even done an icon set yet to even consider it. But all that aside, it gives our final eval score a 9.5 G. I mean, yes, it brought it down maybe a little bit, but it probably could have been pushed to not a perfect 10, but it rounded up to a 10 if it wasn't such an icon set, so to speak. So yeah, I ended up giving it a 9.5 G, which is still a good set, and it is. If you're a fan of this, which, you know, I don't know how much younger kids are actually a fan of this game anyways. I think it's meant for older ages. I think it's a mature audience game or something like that. Then you're going to like it. It's not going to be something you're going to play with anyways. You're going to set this up next to your PlayStation or your computer or whatever and admire it. Maybe what would be really nice is you get a poster with just like the picture of the Midwest. That's basically where the game takes place and the environment looks like, and you just have a picture of it there so you have a nice backdrop for it. But yeah, it's really good. And like I said, I liked it a lot. The score does, you know, hurt it just a little bit, but that's you can see I'm very happy with it, and I think fans will be, and just regular Lego enthusiasts will be too. Those that enjoy sci-fi and stuff like that. It's really the mechs in the game, the mechanical creatures are really cool and are very appealing to the eye to begin with, and then this is done to look really close to that, so you know it's going to be good. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoy this, please hit the like, and if you didn't like this, hit the dislike button, but let me know what you didn't like about it down in the comments, so I can change it, make it better. I mean, if you just don't like the set, that, you know, that's your choice and your decision. But yeah, like, comment. If you're new here, you know, and like what you see, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook. I send my notifications out through that as well, because I know Hasbro, yeah, YouTube. I know YouTube is sometimes late on that. I have my other channel that I normally just watch stuff on, rather than my, business channel here, business, so to speak. But it took 2 days for my last video to show up as a notification on there. So, yeah, it's always good to use those other links for notification. I also have a Patreon down there. It's just $1 a month right now. I might make some bigger tiers when I have more stuff to go with it. But every little bit helps. I'm hoping it's going to be a while for monetization from YouTube, so that's one way of doing it. But you can help with monetization if you hit the sub button as well. So I thank you for watching this, and I hope you have a good day. And I'm here to sign off, reminding you that creativity is key.